Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, just looking at the fatigued faces. 2021 left people hanging wet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pretend it's 2019 again and try this all over.
Ugh.
Excuse me.
Don't know if I'm
Oh,
brave enough
shoot.
for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this isn't good. All right, let's see. You know, let's see here. Yeah, baby, work it, baby. Oh yeah, here we go. Ah, there. They do not make a surge protector big enough to meet all the power needs of any modern day tech center.
Nope, there's a lot of demand for that kind of thing anyway.
What? You don't plug your surge protector into your surge protector into your surge protector and stretch it across the room?
Man, I want to set it on fire.
Look, I'm pregnant.
Holy crap. Well, how are you fellas doing, eh?
Well, he's recovering. I'm tired as fuck. And then, yeah, there you go.
I'm going to tell you, education is a complete implosion right now, and I've taken the last week off with COVID because the directions are very unclear on what I'm supposed to do, so I just took the week off. And now I'm debating about taking Monday off and then just walking in on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for finals, so I'd only show up for 2 hours each day. That's my plan.
Oh, you're just maintaining strict safety protocols.
Exactly. Not to mention their directions on how to go get tested suck. I went to their testing site, which sucked. Took the test, which wasn't bad, done it before. And I got the results back tonight. They're like, we're really sorry, but all of the test results got contaminated. You have to come back in and do it again.
Wow.
So I get to go stand in line for 2 hours tomorrow to retake a test so I can go back to work.
And Scott's become a robot.
A really big one. Holy crap, that sounded weird.
I know, I love it. What happened to Barrack after the battle?
He became a Cylon? Tell me I'm wrong.
No,
'Cause
that's
exactly-
deadly accurate.
My youngest son today was pew-pewing me with his guns.
Mm.
And he's like, look, I can do all these cool things. I said, do you know gun kata? And he's like, what's gun kata? I said, let me tell you, my son. And he's like, he's now walking around with the new superpower of gun kata. So congratulations.
Yeah, no, both of my kids have really gotten into Power Rangers. And I'm watching it going, I don't want them to, they're not old enough to fight yet and everything. I'm like, oh, but God, it's so good. Great production values. All they had to do was show up in costumes in a park or an industrial complex.
Congratulations.
Or a
That is the
space-
title of tonight's episode. It'll be Old Enough to Fight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just hilarious. I'm like, it's a brilliant model. How much do they spend? That's why they have such great costuming nowadays. Because, where are we going to fight them? In this special park. Let's go to another park. I'm like,
Man, like, the original ones was just, like, all American actors except for the fighting. Whenever the fighting kicked in, it was Japanese footage.
mm-hmm.
And it was
Ooh,
easy to
nice.
mask over because they're wearing helmets, so you can't tell if they're actually talking or not.
Love it. Oh, I forgot where we left off.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. It looks like Scott's just having some minor difficulties here. Yeah, you're also like whenever you do get your stuff coming in, Scott. Don't know if you can hear us, but it's coming in like Mr. Roboto, like on steroids.
There we go. I can't hear Scott at all.
No, he's on mute right now.
Oh. Well, do we want to make this week just sort of a planning session? And
I'm not willing to give up on it yet. It's been only 7 minutes.
you have so much hope. We'll beat that out of you. I think that should be a
hanging on and off again.
You know, like old manuals used to have like random quotes.
Yeah.
That should be a random quote in the Shadows manual. Hope will beat it out of you.
Oh, but yeah, where we left off was pretty intense.
If I recall, we won, but at a very high cost.
Yeah.
And enter Sinclair.
Yeah, and Sinclair shows up. We don't even know what's happened to Violet. She's almost... we don't know if she's her normal self.
Yep, it's interesting.
Yeah, we left it at one hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, Sinclair basically showed up and was like, let's play. And we're all gimped out.
But we don't wanna.
Reset the computer, Scotty. And come on, buddy, we want to play.
By that he means shoot gun at it. All I can think about is that dad that was like... Oh, Jesus. Everybody, you guys remember that whole thing, that that Texan dad who was like a tech, and his daughter had thought that she was getting away with basically trash talking everybody behind their back, and he found out about it because he could scout out like all of her faux accounts and all that other stuff. Well, he found out that she was talking mad shit, you know, about her family, the rest of it, how hard she has to work. And, you know, like shitting all over their housemaid. And then he finds out and he's like, right, well, so he basically does this video and it got so much flack because he, he's like, hey, and it's like, you don't know how hard it is to be this woman and work like this. You don't know what your mom's gone through. You don't know what I go through. And we ask you to do the dishes, like super basic list. He says like, so we recently just got you a new laptop. And I figured that since you're so busy complaining, I could teach you a lesson. So he like throws it out into the yard and unloads an entire magazine from out of a nickel-plated 9mm into this thing. And he's just like, oh, and by the way, this last one's for your mom. She asked me to put it in there. Like this.
You know, that's wrong on so many levels. Like, if you're at that point that you have to shoot your kids' stuff, you screwed up, like, when they were, like, 3.
That's not their stuff. You paid for it. It's still your stuff. That's all you're doing is shooting your stuff.
Well, we live in a world in which material things are just handed to kids like candy now. They break it and say, give me more, and we wonder why would it.
Well, everybody was jumping this guy's case because they're like, it's so violent. And it's like, I thought it was hilarious, personally. Because I'm sitting there going like, he's not shooting the kid. He's not doing anything else. There's the wee one there.
Speaking of which.
Yeah.
You want to say hi to everyone? See you right there?
Yeah.
You can wave. They can see you. They can't hear you, though. Because they're right here in Daddy's head.
We're always in
that's
your
all
head.
I'm getting.
Are you going to bed?
No.
No.
I do.
That's fantastic. the hell? When did I load into? Yeah. Just tone it down a wee. Yeah, I thought that whole thing was just hilarious in general. Because it was like, wow, all right. So he's making a point to his kid. I'm sitting there going, like, sucks that he had to spend like $800 on a new laptop and then like drill it out with, bullets. But at the same time, I'm like,
I really want to know what these people in Texas do for a living, because I don't have $800 to just throw up, plus a nickel-plated gun that I can. Something bad just happened.
Right?
I heard a thump, and then I heard it wasn't my fault.
Nice.
Hey, Scott, you're coming through now.
Hey.
Oh, finally.
Scotty!
I know
Welcome
it
back,
wasn't going to
buddy.
be a lost cause.
Well, I figured between my computer and my phone and my iPad and, I don't know, my TV or something, I could, figure out how to
Right.
get all in here.
Too many devices, really.
Too many. Which means it's why I always look like I'm online, because I haven't logged out of everything. Oh, we don't need this on. Nobody wants to look at spreadsheets. I mean, maybe you guys do.
It depends
I
on
like
the spreadsheet.
spreadsheets.
I like spreadsheets too.
I do everything in spreadsheets now.
Spread them. Okay, what?
Okay.
So, where's Ken tonight? Is he had something coming up, or
He's got something that's got him dragged out. It's kind of a personal thing he's got to go deal with.
oh, not a
So-
problem? Well, I hope
Collecting
it's
all
taken
his
care of.
lotto winnings.
Yeah, no, if it was lotto winnings, I wouldn't be here either.
By the way, Scott, the lotto was won up near your place, up in Sacramento, which is closer to your place than it is to mine.
That is
Have you been
correct.
Have you been to 7-Eleven of late?
Not in several years. In fact, I will venture a guess to say the last 7-Eleven I went to was not in this country.
South Africa.
Yeah, it's huge in South Africa. It's one of the places to get really good produce, actually.
What a strange thing.
It's very strange.
Wow. Wow. Well,
That's a
South
strange
Africa
guess.
has given us a lot lately. COVID, or one of the things I can think of.
I mean, just their own special variant of it. All right, so when we last fought, we won, but at what cost? And then Sinclair came in with like wrestling music. That was like the Undertaker, like lurking behind.
Under.
While we all had our victory dance and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
we've got-
yeah, I forgot. Riv basically teleported herself 1,000 feet into the air and got pummeled into the ground.
And accidentally got some friendly fire. I'm just gonna own it.
Yeah, that she did,
But we don't know what state Riv is in. I mean, I take it we're still in the crater where this battle has happened, right? We haven't left.
No, you haven't left yet. Right now,
It was like straight up Goku fight, like uppercut, teleport, kick sideways, teleport. Like,
I mean, did we ever actually put Avrothral in the box?
yeah,
yes.
yep. You guys were successful in that. Averthral was finally taken down all the way through.
And we got Violet, who we don't know what state she is in.
Well, she wasn't visible from where you were. Something happened to her, and we never saw the result of whatever that was. Something happened, and she was just going crazy down below because you had erected a structure that was acting as a fortification to keep everybody more or less like safe from all of these, bum rushing meleeers, and then it turned into, turned into the birds.
Is it safe to say in our current state that our luck has not been what do you call it?
It hasn't reset yet, is what you're asking?
Yeah, it hasn't reset yet.
In this case, combat is over, and so you could easily say that because we've jumped that plus multiple sessions over, it's reset for sure.
Luck resets to 10, correct?
It resets to
It
whatever your
resets
luck is.
To what your luck is.
Oh, wow. What is my luck? How do I calculate my... Oh, there it's 9.
Yeah, it's a stat.
It's a stat. Thank you. I found it. It's way up there above my will.
I will be happy to say, on a total side note, this is the sheet and everything else with it has been a pretty major success. I've been side hustling a little solo campaign via text with an old friend of mine who's got a 14-year-old character he brought back to life, and I've been drilling that into the ground. It has been, it's been so freaking good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we rebuilt him
Stress
from
test.
scratch. Yeah, and so
In the new sheet.
Yep, got him set up in the whole new sheet, and it's been ongoing now for almost 2.5 days. So it's like been really good.
Now, are you talking about the 3.0 sheet or the current sheet that we're using?
I'm talking about the one we're using right now.
Gotcha.
It's the newest one. So it's been working out. I'm really freaking glad about that.
Good. You got to stress test it. I mean, that's one of the fun things to do sometimes in games is the stress test.
That and the nerve-wracking thing sometimes, because I keep wondering, it's like, oh shit, is it going to break? But the stuff has been so resilient up till now, I don't know why it would break. Can't help it sometimes, just like, it might. Like,
Things have been too successful for too long.
that's what it kind of feels like. But I always have to remember that this is like 20 years in the making or some shit. Like, we're almost there to 20 years, at least as far as like Shadows and my introduction to it's almost been 20 years. So by the time I'm 40, man, that's the 20-year mark. That'll be insane. Right.
Awesome that you've run it for this long. I mean, it's a great game.
It's way, way, way too much fun. I don't know how I could not run it. Okay.
Well, I can tell you the fun it's been.
All right. Say hi to everyone.
God damn it, Scott. How do you like your throne, Scott?
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude!
This isn't the picture I meant to pick. It's this. Like, I didn't mean to pick this picture.
It works great though.
That's
Barrick
too funny.
controls the under.
This should be
ground.
D's. This should be D's background.
Well, isn't this what I got on frickin' World Anvil? Isn't that like part of it?
Yeah.
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 Some part of it looks like that.
I meant to pick this one, but it was right next to it, so.
I kind of like the other one actually.
It works, man.
Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah. So good.
I haven't watched yesterday's episode yet.
Oh, the
I've only watched the first episode. I don't know what day they come out.
Wednesdays.
They come out on Wednesdays? Oh, nice. Okay. What day is today?
Thursday.
The kids didn't have school. Well, the kids didn't have school on Monday, so it like totally has thrown off everything.
It's all right.
So.
I haven't had school all week. It's been wonderful.
That's a good point.
Well,
Get
so
the hair.
yeah, so the remnants of what's left over is that we have the collapsing structure created by Ivar as a fortification as it's slowly being, reduced to its original format. We have, as the whole thing is lowering down, kind of like this strange elevator, we will catch sight of Violet Della Rosa, who is recovering from something. She almost has this fevered-like expression on her face as she's looking around, almost dazed, disoriented, but definitely highly energetic. Sebastian, if you recall, was caught in sort of this kneeling position, almost to that of royalty, whenever she flipped whatever it was that converted over, sent him into this sort of incredibly potent sense of service that, for now, it's almost as if he would never actually abandon her under any circumstances at this point. So Sebastian is kind of in awe. The remainder of her troops, those that survived, approximately 6 of them, most of the others are either wounded or dead, will crowd around where she's at. The remainder of your robotic forces, which is... Oh God, what was it at last? You had recorded the total losses, I believe, Drew.
We are down to... I'm reading this. We have a lost artillery. Let me see if this is our starting. We have about 100 orc berserkers left. 75 bots. The heavy artillery has all but been wiped out. And the troops, over half of them are destroyed.
Yeah, so there are only 6 remaining of those orcish troops left at the end of this battle. The rest have either been wounded and are being tended to in the best way possible by some of the other more robotic units, but there's only 23 of those. I mean, it got nasty near towards the end there with all the crossfire. Riv's status is unknown. She crashed to the earth. You guys managed to capture Everthrall and move on from there. She's unconscious towards the center of the battlefield, and she'll have to be taken in for medical care.
So is Riv MIA, or just we don't know Riv's status?
Well, she's here in the battlefield, but she's unconscious, and...
But do we know where she's? Like, do we have eyes on
You
Riv?
saw where
At
she
the
hit.
bottom of the crater.
Yeah, you saw where she hit just before Everthrall was taken out. So everybody's going to be moving to that position most likely. The only one who isn't doing that at the moment is the highly crazed cult, who actually saw Sinclair at a great distance out in front of where you had your fight. And when he arrived at that location, while everybody else was trying to recover and recuperate, he found that singular note with the drawings and just this single phrase of "Let's play" on the back of this little invitation, kind of like a 9-year-old's birthday card invitation, basically.
Which means all you're hearing is prolific swearing. And pacing back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's his problem whenever you get back.
Ivar at this moment just lets out a deep breath, like, I think I put it all back the way it was. What do you think, Barrick? Looks pretty good.
I mean, sure.
Dravis is taking care of Riv at this point, getting her settled up inside one of the APCs. The other robotic units are going to be helping him assist with that. You've got moans and groans coming from the remainder of the still living yet wounded of the rest of these orcish troops. And Violet is kind of looking around, still trying to get her bearings.
How many of the robots? 23. Barrick, we have 23 robots left. Aren't they our robots?
I mean, I can control them to a certain extent. They are part of the shipment that we bargained for.
Yes, but they're like our property of shipment. Couldn't we bring them along with us to help us with Sinclair?
I mean, let's say this: anything we bring runs the chance of being turned against us.
Should we check and see if Colt is alright? He's swearing a little more than normal.
And Cole just comes stalking up, just like waving. It's just, you see this? You see that? He like waves it in your face for half a second, like he's expecting you to read it, and he snatches away and goes, "You see this?" You go, "Oh, no, that's what that little bastard wants."
I didn't know Chuck E. Cheese was still around. Interesting.
Oh, that son of a bitch. And he just like, and he looks and he goes, oh,
What did Ivar do?
well, Riv looks like shit.
Yeah,
Graves
well, you
is
saw
like-
what she did.
Yeah, well, she's actually lucky to be alive, given the fact that she took several shots midair, but unconscious and alive.
If we were not in this place, wherever we really are, it would be worthy cracking a silver card, I think. But,
I think we're in New Jersey.
well,
Close enough, I guess.
yeah.
I mean, look at it. It's kind of a shithole. It reminds me of New Jersey.
No, it doesn't matter. We're not going after him now because he's already prepared and we're hurt, and that's just suicide. And even I'm not that stupid. So
Yeah, none of us want to go after him.
we're going home and getting drunk.
Violet.
Wait, I'm really confused. Who are we talking about? What does this note say, Colt?
He
Did
just
you get the
kinda,
love note?
he just kind of hands it to Barrick.
Basically, it's Sinclair's calling card. He's calling us out.
He wants to play?
In whatever way he does, yes.
Huh.
But even if Riv's gauntlet manages to activate a regen, which I don't think she can do while she's unconscious, it's going to take days for her to get back up.
Huh.
And I'm out of rockets.
Oh.
While you're all
Ivar,
discussing
at
next
this
steps,
moment,
Hmm?
Ivar just kind of opens his room and he's looking at it and
Not that
checking
kind
to
of
see if
rocket.
there's any holes in like his robe or anything. Well, I think I'm okay. Ivar's okay. Thank you for asking.
while all of you are going over next steps or proclaiming or profaning, I should say, while you're in the midst of that, Violet comes along and looks at the state of the situation. We've lost a lot.
Hello. We have. Are you okay?
I'm better now. But we need to get out of here. There's not really much in terms of resources or anything like that. What am I looking at?
It's a ride at a park, and a kid is not having a good time on it.
I actually think he's having a really good time on it.
It's not a Harry Potter real life vibrating broom.
Oh my god. I'll
That's
never
one little-
forget reading those.
My 6-year-old wasn't really into it, but her 14-year-old sister loved it.
Well, and then they were talking about like all the like it's just like she's like just goes into her room and plays for hours and hours, and then she coming out all sweaty. Is that okay? Like they're all freaking out.
Drew, do you know what we're talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't think I want to.
It was a well-intentioned toy that was supposed to be like a Harry Potter broom that you can ride, and it has a real vibrating feature so that it feels like you're flying,
Yep.
and everything that you can imagine happened.
It was real popular among the youngins. Didn't
Yeah.
bother their parents for a while. Jesus Christ.
I must have been
Among
one
those-
powerful broom.
Among those who are Hogwarts aged.
Yeah. Like that was the worst part, and they like constantly people's like, I just took the batteries out until this is like who thought this idea up and how did they get away with it? Jesus.
China.
They all recharge with USB anyway now.
Oh Jesus Christ, yeah.
So yeah, we need to get out of here.
Right.
I forget what we're even in. We like went through the Silk Road to like.
We were trying to clear the Silk
we're-
Road for her.
We're in
I know, but
purgatory
we
right
like
now.
went to like a cool little combat zone.
Oh no, we're in purgatory.
Sort of ish, kinda. You guys are actually in another. You guys are in another side plane, for lack of better terminology. The Where you wound up was a common attack point for Avathrol and his clones to make trouble for
Right.
her wherever she came through, because it's open ground and it's just chaotic. She knew that was going to be the case if she presented a large enough target, and Avathrol couldn't
That's
resist.
right. We were trying to trick him out and flush him out
Yep.
in this known area in hopes of taking him out, but now it's probably not a safe area for us to be.
Well, it's not conducive to us because there's no way that we can get any kind of medical care here. We have to go back.
Yeah.
So, Solteris, who has been somewhat quiet and distant and out of the way, yes, my little diagram there to be.
Would you like me to summon a gurney for Riv to go on?
She's already in the APC.
Yep.
Would you like me to summon a gurney
I
for Ivar?
no.
Actually, at the moment, I think that all of us should be loading up and getting out of here now. Most of these APCs are in still good enough condition to operate. I'll have some of my own drive us out. Whoever wants to stay with her can. I'll be in the forward vehicle. She just steps up that way. She's still kind of unsteady on her feet.
Yeah.
But Sebastian is helping her out, and it's not long before everyone has gotten to the point where they can move and get around. You still have Cold fuming, Barrick doing his analysis, Ivar's prattling on about all sorts of things, and you guys leave the scene of the battle with one more major outsider under wraps.
Nice. Dee, what would be a good role for Ivar to just kind of, as he's prattling on, that he's actually trying to look at De La Rosa to see if he can discern what the outsiders did to her?
Well, in this case, you could probably just use some means of visual enhancement, see if you can do something like Aura Sight or something else along those lines, and then roll an occult to find out whether or not you can discern what that means.
Well, I think that's
gonna check in with Firestorm and ask if Firestorm can relay directions to all of the drones to just meet back at Dougie's place.
One's like,
Ivar, just as he's prattling and rattling, he's also observing the aura of with a 25 on occult. What is he noticing? Is he able to discern what was done to her?
Well, she's undergone something similar to probably a form of enlightenment in a way, but not in the most direct or maybe even the most pleasant of senses. Similar to what you might
similar to what happened to
Yeah.
Ivar?
Yeah, in a fashion.
Oh, fun.
The Firestorm will definitely reply back when it's like, don't worry, I've already been on top of that. Thanks to a certain secondary program I was able to kind of copy, we should be okay when it comes to the bots. I've got that part figured out.
Ivar's going to slowly make his way up to the front where Violet is. And as he's walking by, he looks at Colt and goes, I think you should come along with me. Riv will be fine.
Barrick is gonna sit with Riv.
Okay.
Just like, okay.
Scott
Fine,
is going
whatever.
to eat this. Oh, what? I'm like eating nothing.
Nice.
I got this Japanese snack box. This is the last thing left, and it's popcorn.
Ooh. Ah, yes, gold bears.
Are those the sugar-free ones?
Compare them to my...
20
Are those
minutes
the
later.
sugar-free gummy bears?
These are the ones that are made in Germany. I know, they have 14 grams of sugar. They are not sugar-free.
Well, that's
Do you know
good.
the deal with the sugar-free ones?
They're crap.
They make you
They
shit
make you
your
crap.
pants violently.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I remember people talking about how they had like whole bowls full, and then they're like,
Yes,
running.
and then they feel the rumble, and
Yeah.
then it's 3 days later, They've lost 12 pounds.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
it's a good diet.
full-on DEFCON Brown.
As Ivar is making his way up front, dragging Colt, he keeps trying to go, Colt, I need you to focus. I think Violet has seen the divine.
And I care why.
You've met me, haven't you?
Yeah. And you're crazy.
I've seen the
And this is
divine.
coming from me. Uh-huh.
The lady that controls the Silk Road has also seen the same thing. This does not end well.
Okay, and how's this interest me?
Just keep your eyes open. Keep all people available. You need to focus right now. The problem with you're not focused.
Oh, no. I'm focused.
No,
Oh, no.
no. You are distracted. You're letting things enter your mind. Clear them, and you will find happiness.
Oh my god.
Barrick, deal with him. And then you just walk.
Barrick's not there. Barrick's with Riv.
Barrick's not there.
And he goes, Barrick should be here to deal with this.
Well, again,
I will inspire you.
you all take your seats at this point. You've got Firestorm radioing back that he's got a hold of the bots and has them under control, and the militarized caravan is now moving along. It doesn't take long. Yes.
I was just going to look at Colt and say, be entertaining. Do what you're told. Come.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in 1 hour is what it feels like. You're able to get back out.
Wasabi popcorn.
Woo! Are you awake yet?
I haven't tried it yet. I was reading the back.
Oh. But, yeah, it takes roughly an hour before you're back into Night City proper, and you're actually ejected onto the street where you guys had originally landed, where Alex had dropped you off.
Is Alex still waiting there? He's like finished like 19 Sudoku puzzles.
At this point, he's just bringing a giant cooler of like hoagie sandwiches.
I wouldn't be surprised.
There's
He
water
never
bottles
knows.
of piss just filled up.
Is he like happy right now?
Well, when you guys do emerge, he's not paying terribly much attention because he is there. Like Dice flat out said, he hadn't had a chance to leave yet. But he's just hanging out. And when the caravan comes running through, you know, you've got your military train just coming through out of that particular garage, which looks, you know, basically looks like it's coming in from somewhere else. But it just uses
like a clown car.
Well, uses like natural doorways that are already around. So what you guys are actually popping out of is, it looks like a a deportation station where they just pop out these larger vehicles. So it looks like you guys are coming out onto the street from there. It's not just coming from out of thin air or that kind of thing. But he's, when you guys do catch sight of him at this point, he's down the way. But you can see he's just got headphones on. He's just like this, just sitting like, bobbing his head, that kind of thing, and reading. Well, he's got his slate in front of him, and he's just kind of hanging out. But it's not difficult to get Riv taken care of. As a matter of fact, speaking of silver cards, it would look like Violet was kind of withholding on some part of that. She ends up snapping one of those immediately when you guys get there and slapping it into the inside of Riv's clothes. And sure enough, in under a minute, you have this AV ambulance and pushing everything out. They drag her off and move her to where they need to take care of her from here on until she's either conscious or all the way better.
Ivar just looks over and says, "We are very grateful for your generosity. Thank you."
She
No
looks
body
over
lotto
you.
tonight.
She's like, "Not for you, perhaps, but I've got plenty to bury on my own rights. Meanwhile, I have no reason to be anything other than thankful at this point. Mission's been accomplished, and the Silk Road is effectively under control once again. Which means that all of my supply lines and everything else that I had running, including all commerce and mercantile, is back up to capacity. So, it's passes for all of you, should you need it. But
We are very grateful.
as I've said, so am I. I'm going to tend to my own now. You should probably head back.
We appreciate it. You see the problem that these outsiders cause. We're going to be trying to take care of the rest of them.
And it proves that your prototype is working. Which means that the last part of our little arrangement is going to be coming through quite nicely. Beers all around. She just puts a hand on Ivar's shoulder walking past and starts issuing orders to these orcs and the rest of it. Of course, the bots are kind of moving on their own. She takes one look back at Barrick, kind of gets this expression of just contemplation for a minute, and then she shrugs her shoulders and just moves back into her primary complex, using Sebastian to unlock doors and move her way through. Before you know it,
I want to do a insight check. What is that? Human perception? My human perception is shit.
yes, human perception is it.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Nope, he has no clue what's going on.
You just see Ivar looking at where she touched his shoulder, and he is just like... It's like he's never going to wash that shoulder again.
Yeah, Barrick, sees a look and is like...
Yep.
No idea. No idea.
Ivar's just doing this.
Alright, so what winds up happening next is everyone piles into the vehicle for Alex. It doesn't look like it has been much time that has passed, roughly a few hours, give or take. Alex just kind of just peeks out the window a little bit. Where's Riv?
Who?
He was in need of medical attention.
So that's what that whole thing was about earlier, huh?
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't Ivar again, right?
He just kind of shrugs his shoulders yeah, actually. We're due back. And he goes, just rolls the window up. You guys pile into the AV.
Got my duffel bag.
Yep. Everything seems to be working for now, and robots are inbound. They'll be there after a short while, but they'll move themselves. No need to transport them since they're extra weight, and you don't have the capacity to be able to transport them with a single AV of this capacity yet. So,
No, that's why I told him to just head back.
Yep, and they're headed that way.
Now, Cultist kind of looks at Barrick as he's putting in the big bag and says, "You just need to get you a weapons caddy, like a golf caddy, but for shotguns." You ever thought about that little mechanical buddy that follows you around? And you just yell out weapon name and it pops it out, and you're like, "Oh, thank you."
Huh.
You're welcome. I'll be here all night.
Casey Jones.
Basically.
Didn't Kevin Hart's character have that as one of his skills in the Jumanji?
Oh, the bag.
That he was one of his skills was weapons caddy or whatever.
Weapons caddy to the Rock's character.
Yeah. His weakness was cake, but
a little much there.
I loved when Casey Jones went to a job interview and trying to infiltrate, and he still had his mask on.
Alright, so the trek back isn't anything special per se, but everyone can get a look at what Night City is and the fact that there's like yet another outsider captured and put away, and 21 left to go.
How many outsiders do we have left?
21.
20, so there were 23 or the 24 of them?
23.
The hell is that?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I typed CC and that's what I got.
That's a lot of outsiders left.
True enough, but it seems like outsiders in this case, for the most part, have been creating all kinds of havoc, but comparative to some of the more big nasties, you're not really hearing much from the other ones per se. They're kind of not here.
I mean, I don't need to go on a genocide and wipe out all the outsiders. We can convince them to just leave us alone. They can go.
Well, depending on what Shiny Eyes is up to
elsewhere.
If he's got anything to say about it, it's possible he might already be having them sort of take far more subtle points than just going around.
What if we
creating
chop
havoc.
the head off of the leader of the outsiders?
Well, you have to find the eyeless one and actually win the fight.
He always likes to run away. He's coward.
We go Duke Nukem on it, right? And rip off your head and shit down your neck.
Hell yeah. Dude's the best.
Rip off your head, shit down your neck.
Yep. That was a classic. That and the whole thing when he finds himself on a pinball machine, going like, I've got no time to play with myself.
I love that game.
Yeah. It's so debased.
DN no clip, run right through the walls. Oh, it's so good.
Pipe bombs, baby. Chink chink, chink chink, chink chink, and just wait. So, you're all touching down at the manor. Everything seems to be going pretty much as expected. Douglas will be waiting for everyone in his war room inside of the manor here. Once you get
New Year,
in,
Douglas.
he's like, "Welcome back."
Happy New Year.
And Firestorm's been keeping me apprised of your situation. And it looks like Riv will survive. We also managed to acquire ourselves 23 new combatants. Thanks to Firestorm and Barrick's quick thinking.
Well, I figure if we didn't snatch him up, Violet might try to take them for her own means. We can always do a trade with them later, but I'd rather we control them for now. We paid for them, technically. As Ivar was quick to point out.
Well, regardless, this is a boon for us, so I take it in stride. Besides, it would appear that that Stockholm program that was created by cults, Nerd, was it? Could be reconstructed and employed in various places, so here we are, 23 robots stronger. All the better.
Oh,
We have a reprogrammed IG. We could just have nanny bots.
Needless to say, with such success, there is, well, maybe perhaps a teetering point. We can expect that the outsiders are going to be much more careful. Maybe, if we can anticipate that they have anything like regular logic to pattern by.
if that was the least of your worries. And then he just hands the letter. Just doesn't even want to explain shit anymore.
Well, he takes the strange invitation. He's like, "Is this who I think it's from?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How did he reach you from where you were? He gave this to you, what, on the battlefield?
on the battlefield through a portal and said, "Hi."
I mean, he waited till we were done, which was
That was
nice.
very nice of him.
Which means he really wants us to care about him.
How did we know we were there?
There are many questions that I have. The Silk Road is calamitous.
I mean, isn't he, Colt?
we still don't
But
understand
he-
how any of that works, especially since he's separate from the cult now.
But if
No.
he's separate from Colt and he knows where the Colt is, there must be something he's still connecting to the Colt. Colt?
Or he's just a crafty motherfucker who just keeps tabs on everything.
All we know is that we don't know. That's it.
He's like Santa Claus?
Yeah. If he murdered and resurrected your family.
Oh, he is Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Or Rupert. What was the name of Santa Claus's creepy little friend?
You're thinking of Krampus, and that's not it.
No, I don't have to crap. Thank you.
Thank God.
Oh, Gijo.
Papa Gijo. He's just looking at everyone's like, I have to say, our surmountable successes have been quite interesting.
Yeah, I need a nap.
Yeah, so do I. He like goes looking around, going back to some of the center consoles that are, flashing out. He's like, "Hey, what's this?" Like, indicating one of the actual people that none of you are really familiar with, because they spend most of their time braiding deep in the link and they don't really come back out of it. And you see this window pop up on the screen. He's like, "We don't know yet. We're trying to track it down, but there's an errant signal, and it came alongside with what's possible as a brute force breach, but our network is solid." And he goes like that, and he cuts out. Oh shit!
Colt's just leaning against a wall going, "Oh, okay. So the usual bullshit."
No, this is not usual at all. And get me comm links up here now. What's going on? Like, and he starts pannering through all of his stuff on the inside of that console, and then he looks up to the ceiling. You guys, like, everyone can kind of feel it, but it seems that Douglas knows exactly what it is. And he's just like, "Oh, fuck. Get everything out of your chambers. Now. Grab your credit sticks, everything. Go. Quickly."
Colt
Ivar
splits.
just kind of makes his way up to his room, which doesn't have anything except lots of vodka bottles.
Those are recyclable for 5 credits each.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Barrick's still holding his bag, and he just kind of, Alfred, can you just
Alfred
copy
appears.
my stuff?
And she's like, "Yes, of course. I'm actually currently backing up everything, including myself, to a resident backup core. I'll actually take everything that you need along with me as you need it."
All right.
And Colt had just grabbed, he didn't have much belongings, he just wanted to grab that book on the Holy Grail.
Right.
So he wanted to grab that latest book on research he was doing.
Can Ivar grab the whole war room?
The whole war room? You mean like all the computers and stuff?
Put it in his pocket.
I just want to put it in my pocket. I just want to take the room
You don't have a Pokeball big enough.
and just shove it in my pocket.
Did Riv have anything?
Riv only have
We need to
gauntlets.
grab from Riv's room.
Well, she had some stuff that was in there, kind of like knickknacks and strange figurines and things along those lines, as you guys have been there for quite some time. And she had
Funko
accumulated
Wait
all
a
of that.
second. I mean, Ivar definitely grabs his passes to get us into all the cool places we can get to the crossroads and everything. He's got his golden ticket, but there were some books we had. Didn't we have a set of books that Riv and I had picked up?
From the weird, creepy book dealer dude?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
and Ivar's
I believe he's-
definitely grabbing the weird, creepy books that he doesn't remember what they were, but he's grabbing them.
Yeah, Barrick has his Magic for Dummies, pocket guide like in his shirt, so that's his car reading.
All right, so
He
everybody's
hasn't gotten the audiobook by James Marsters yet.
the.
I got my shoebox.
All right, so you guys are grabbing your things. You're moving fast. There's a low-key sort of thrumming sound coming from the hallways. And when you guys leave your chambers, there's flashing red lights that are actually up towards the corners and things along those lines. You can see runes are beginning to ignite all along hallways.
So he just taps his head and says, Dougie, would you kindly tell me what the fuck's going on?
He's like, meet me at the holopad. I don't have time to talk. Everyone, now, move what you've got.
Runs
As Ivar
faster.
is moving a 23 occult, he's looking at the runes. Does he recognize anything?
Yeah, those are all runes of warding, protection, etc. And if they're igniting
they-
or lighting up, it means that something's putting massive pressure on them.
Are they holding?
Well, the house isn't destroyed or anything yet, so yes, for the moment.
Does Ivar have time to make it to the bar?
He can flip around the house by teleportation very easily.
You just see Ivar disappear, and when he comes back, he's like loaded,
Clink, clink.
and you hear the clinking of glasses. He's like, I got it all. I got the valuable stuff. Let's go. I even found those hidden bottles that Douglas was keeping from me. Don't worry, I have them safe.
Ah, Jesus.
That was Barrick in a previous life.
Well,
Yeah, so we're evacuating.
yes,
'cause
moving
we're
quickly.
under attack.
You can see several people, a lot more staff are here than what you all remember, and they're all moving as if this was practiced and drilled and the rest of it. They're moving right along. They have their routes planned and they're getting going. You even catch the nurse that's helped out some of the people that used to be here, including the one who's, prescribed like the carbon supplements and so on. And she's kind of moving along. She's got like a Kevlar vest on, a backpack. She doesn't look like her usual self whatsoever. And she's just kind of like, oh, good. Glad to see that you're still all right there, son. Like, just she comes moving past.
9 minutes. That's how long we had back out of the war zone. 9 minutes.
I mean,
You got-
it's like, is that a record?
Is it gravy? Is there like Meal Team 6 with their flags like trying to breach the Capitol?
Well, at the moment,
You see, Ivar's just like reaching through his robes right now, and he pulls out a bottle of scotch, and he's here, Barrick. You might need this.
Alright, so you guys are moving along. You guys are trading this out. You can see people moving out of the complex. There is thumping noises, massively loud booms that are coming from outside.
Yeah, that's not supposed to be here.
No, and you've got Firestorm going like, guys, this is bad. This is really, really bad. I was only able to actually intersect any kind of communications based on the fact that I was bouncing it off the relays from all of the hostiles in your area.
Were we followed?
And it's like, I couldn't tell, and there was no way for me to know. These things just came out of nowhere. I tried to warn you, and then you can hear them cut out again.
It's like, yay, we've pissed off everyone.
Would you like me to teleport you guys a few blocks away, or at least
Michael Bay
Um,
explosions.
250 feet away from where we currently are, and we can then assess the situation? Or do you just want to walk out into clusterfuck?
I mean, I'd rather walk into clusterfuck than be teleported into it. Pardon my language.
There's a rumble in the household that shakes all the walls. There's something that happens. You can hear some screams that are coming from outside again. You guys aren't
Well,
far from
Ivar's-
this helipad, which is different from where you guys normally take off and land from the AVs.
Should Ivar throw up some defensive moves? Let's throw in a tactics roll.
Alfred, how many people are still in the house?
She's like, They're leaving quickly, but unfortunately there's kind of a problem. Some of our power's fluctuated, and the basement elevators aren't operating correctly.
16
Ivar?
tactics from Ivar.
Ivar, we need you to get those people out in the basement.
Oh, no problem.
If you're up for teleporting, that's the best you can do.
Can Ivar just open a portal of reality that goes into wherever those people are and just, like, here, come through here?
Well, you can see several of them. There's one person's in a lab coat, another one seems to be just kind of like looking around. Not civilian, but definitely part of the main staff. It looks like they had kind of crowded in together. You do that for several more, and those basement elevators are finally cleared after maybe about 30-40 seconds since you're able to get them going. And then, of course, at this point, you've got Alpha goes, this is all of it. I need to shut down now so I can properly be put into the backup core. I wish you luck.
Thank you. Ivar just did a tactics roll. Should Ivar be putting up some defensive measures around the group?
Everything's under attack. That's kind of you can put defensive measures. It depends on you what you want to do. You don't know what you're facing out there necessarily yet. You just know that there's some crap happening and it's not getting better.
Ivar is going to actually try to create an optical illusion of where we are, almost a displacement, so that if anybody sees us that is a friend, they know where we are. But if it's anybody who is not friendly to us, we're going to appear to be not where we are, but somewhere else.
There's another, like, raucous explosion from outside. You set this up. Go ahead and make your roll. It's going to be a target 7.
Three degrees of success.
That's good enough. It accomplishes what you want. Of course, nobody in this group is going to perceive them. Everybody else will actually address the simulacrum of the members. As long as they stay within a certain kind of range and tightly knit with each other, they won't vanish. But yeah, you start moving through. Now, you start cutting through the main parts of the manor house. There are a few winding turns that take you out to this helipad, which was actually on the western side of the house, near towards the roof. When you get up there, you start going up the stairway and hitting the roof access. You can hear that there is a vehicle powering up engines and the rest of it. When you come up there, it is a straight scene from almost something like Terminator 2's introduction. You have gunfire going from top to bottom. There is return fire coming from the grounds, some of it coming from troops, other parts of it coming from things you don't quite, like Barrack would actually recognize them as like basically surface to air defenses, but they're not the normal kind. The swarm of AVs and various other drop vehicles that have made themselves known is staggering. There isn't necessarily a clear means out. Some of the ricochet gunfire and the rest of it that is coming down onto the property is clattering off of something that is protecting the manor from being completely devastated. It's not really known exactly how long it'll take before any of those defenses will tap out, but there is an army of something up there, and it looks vaguely familiar. Everybody can roll combat sense to figure this out.
Where are those newly acquired robo troops?
Well, they haven't been issued any orders, and so they're kind of just standing inside of the house, but, you know, maintaining a basic defensive perimeter at the front.
Ivar maintains his distance.
Combat sense.
29.
I almost did a D19. Oh man, double botch for me.
Really? Did you end up... you didn't use any luck or anything, I'm assuming?
No, I'll roll. I can do a reroll.
Well, I mean, I'm not forcing you into it. I was trying to... Because I saw you said double botch, and I noticed that Drew rolled a 1 and you rolled a 1, but...
Oh no, okay, so I spent, reroll and add 2 points?
Yeah, if you have
So
lucky.
I rolled a 9.
Okay.
to add, so I'm at 27 total.
27. Mm-hmm. Well, you kind of like you're zeroing in on these enemy targets, and you've got flashes, explosions. A lot of it's deadened at this point because whatever protective force is keeping out the ballistics is also keeping out the sound.
So I'm gonna just issue a quick order to the troops,
Yep.
to the robots, to defend the civilians.
All right. That's not a problem. They'll basically break up into units and they can sort of automate that action from here. And they will follow suit. When you start to zoom in and everybody who's gotten above that 20 range there, you immediately recognize that all of these are the unmarked, are basically the unmarked vehicles of the technocratic art. Like, they are here.
Technocracy finally found
They
us.
want that turret
Yep.
back.
It's like, oh, these assholes.
And this is when Barrick turns and goes, "I told you guys I joined up. Ha ha ha."
And it's a new year and we reroll characters.
Huh. So they haven't forgiven us.
No.
Okay, let me think on this one.
We got
Give-
Sinclair and Coppertop now.
Oh, I'm
Do
so
you think?
calling them.
Do you think they
next
know
time.
we like sealed away their CEO in like purgatory, like moon hell?
Oh, you know what would make this so much better is if he actually got out.
No, I don't
And he's
think
leading
gotten
them
out.
right now because
I-
that would just
no.
be beautiful.
No, I don't feel him. Normally, he and I have this thing. He tries to squish me. I tell him no. He doesn't understand me. I don't know why he won't just sit and have a drink with Ivar. I'm a really nice guy.
So, the vehicle
Wow.
that was being loaded right now is actually something of a it's something of a beauty. I'm sure that Barrick would appreciate it. It's not an AV and it's not a helicopter. What it is it seems to be a hybrid between the two. It's actually a Dark Sun Raptor, which
Hell yes.
basically gives it full combat capabilities, high speed flight with magnetic drives. It can actually switch between like the sort of like the quopter type like wing setup, but it can also go into like a jet formation that allows it to be able to take fast maneuverability and escape velocities. So he's loading this shit up, but he can't go anywhere because the airspace is crowded.
Yeah, he's pinned down.
Let's see. We're going to. Now, the airspace, is it primarily filled up with the technocracy right now?
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
lot of them.
So, John just looks at Ivar and says, Ivar, would you like to bring the lightning? I need a boost.
You want me to boost you up?
Yeah, just a little bit. This may, and he goes like cracks his knuckle and looks at Douglas. Come as a shock.
He's just sort of like, ugh. Fire away! We need that airspace cleared so that we can get out of here.
So he's going to pump all his actions. He's going to build on his actions. Okay. So if he succeeds with the first action, he'll do the next one, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
That's how he wants to kind of do it. First is to get my camera fixed. Yes.
Ivar takes his hand off of the cold.
Is to essentially like connect all the electrical systems of all the aircraft above him
Uh-huh.
so first like kind of like just like connect them, like the underlying current, so like there's a static current like just kind of going all across the sky.
Right.
Make sure you have it go in continuous loop. Then it will loop on itself, increasing the electrical powers. But whatever you do, make sure you ground it.
I
into
know.
something.
I
You
know.
got to ground it. If you don't ground it, you're going to get sharp.
Oh, I swear to God, Ivar.
Do you know how to do this?
Yes. For fuck's sake, it's already done. It's
They're just
all he
like
does.
stepping back a little and like checking his EMP shielding.
Yeah. Well, and
No, you're on different circuit. You don't understand how this works. Go read your book.
So basically, to create that like constant static field that's looping back and forth, so it's like an electric current that's moving between all the aircraft.
mhm.
What would you
What's my
like
di-
Ivar to
What's
do?
my difficulty on that one? I'll need him in a second.
You're gonna have a difficulty. It's gonna be a target 9.
Target 9. I'll need help with this one.
What do you need me to do?
Will boost my rolls. So whatever successes he gets helps.
Right. So if you just do a cooperative cast.
Can I help? Arcane capacitor?
Once they've had a chance to kind of blast off some of their own magic, yeah.
Oh, I just meant like charge
Target
him up. or something.
9, fail 1, explode.
Okay, so I was
10.
telling Bill, these are like wasabi pickle. It is an unholy combination of deliciousness. And my face and fingers are burning.
Ivar,
It's really
Ivar. While he's sitting there talking to Barrick about the food we should be eating right now, he looks over and sees the Colt trying. He goes, no. You have it. You have your polarities backwards. Here, let me show you.
Look, I am
And-
flipping it exactly the way it's like, motherfucker.
And Ivar snaps like that with 5 degrees of success,
God.
and light that sky up, baby.
So you got the static charge going. So that's his first melee action.
Okay.
The next melee action is to actually use the ambient buildup in the cloud cover to have electric strikes come naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And because you have an ongoing static field going on, it's going to chain lightning between all the targets.
Right.
So he's
All right.
going to use natural phenomenon to create lightning strikes into the group, but he's already prepped it so that it's compounded. Make sense?
Yep.
What's
Barrett's gonna hide.
what's the difficulty?
It's gonna remain the same. 9. You're
Okay.
doing a massively large effect.
Okay, 17, 10.
You're done. You're done with Ivar, correct?
Yeah, I really wanted to get because the thing is, I really needed to have the static charge going between so that the lightning links.
No, it's no problem.
Okay, fail 1.
It's all linked together now. All you have to do is seed the clouds. Seed the clouds. Seed them. If you don't seed them properly, it won't work.
Swear to God, I just want to concentrate on this one. Could you just?
Why
let
you
me-
don't need to concentrate? This is not a hard thing to do. Just seed the clouds.
Hmm. 2 degrees of success. No, actually, I'm gonna turn that 1, so 2 degrees of success.
Right.
Ivar just shakes his head. He goes, "You didn't seed the clouds."
Well, if I didn't have somebody yammering in my ear, wouldn't have had a fucking problem. And then
I
he makes a
told you
trade,
you
and
should
then he goes,
focus.
then I wouldn't have any problem seeding the clouds.
You haven't been focusing. You're letting the little clown man get into your head. Focus.
All right. So, again, he's packing up this raptor, which is a larger thing. You guys are sitting there arguing and trying to cast magic at the same time. Barrick is just kind of keeping his eyes up. Dravis hits to the roof as you're executing the spellcraft above your head, and he's just kind of looking around, going like, "Oh shit!" Like, tries to get to a point where he can find something like of a weapon of sorts or anything that would actually be of assistance. So he's helping, Douglas at this point, trying to get everything loaded up and ready to go while the engines are still powering up. The electrostatic field that is created in mid-air surrounding some of these targets, while albeit it's not entirely all of them, because there's about 250 feet, I think, from where you guys are at. So they're coming in close and hovering down at where they can get to it. So they're kind of in and outside of that particular field. Your magic is reinforcing and causing the lightning to pull down from the sky. You see massive crackling and then multiple strikes all hitting, and it burns out those little pieces inside of the retina, just leaving that scar of light in the back of your eyelids. there are multiple strikes, but you don't see any of the vehicles go down. In fact, there is this kind of sense of resistance in your own beating heart about the whole thing. Like the magic was working perfectly, but the second the actual offensive strike managed to land, all those vehicles somehow or another had something prevent it. And you don't know what it was. It was like slamming into a brick wall.
Now that isn't fair.
I mean,
Ooh, epic fail for Ivar. Even Ivar's looking at it with this look of, well, that's not right.
Some of the vehicles come swooping down in and they start doing these drops. You're starting to notice figures that are dropping out. And they're not using parachutes, they're not using ropes, they're not using anything at all. But you just see multiple figures starting to land both in the grounds and around the house, and some are trying to land on the roof, but you can see the immediate ejection as they land on top of that and have to slide down.
are they firing, or are they just posturing aggressively?
Well, you can't really see where most of them are, because you guys are standing on top of the roof, west side of the manor. You're able to see from like the semi-highest level, like you're only like one level off, where this raptor is more or less, like where it's at just a landing point. That's going to be able to take off directly without any interference. What you guys are watching as they hit out on, so at a distance when you're actually looking at them from the main grounds, they're moving in, and that's when you see something that's definitely not all that great, and that would happen to be the large, like, welling bolts that are emerging from all of their hands and colliding with various targets as they start to make their moves. You can recognize them as plasma ejectors.
Guys, my plasma is empty. My rockets are spent.
We've got bigger problems. Why didn't that work?
But fuck if I know. It's like it basically said, magic don't work on us.
Fuck, I could have told you that. Dougie, what's
Barrick-
our chance of getting out of here?
Barra, can you shoot
Extremely
something
low
and see
right
what
now.
happens?
I mean, this is really stupid. Can we draw the natural power of your house and throw it at them?
And he's like, not unless you're wanting to shatter the defenses of the entire manor and make it accessible.
Oh, I thought you were going to scrap this place.
And it's just like, they're already trying that. I just want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Ivar?
Barrick is gonna try and cover fire with his blunderbuster.
Portal? Think we can do it?
And he's like, portal to where?
Not here.
And he's like, looking back, is like, how far can we go? What's the farthest you've ever been?
50 feet.
And he's just shaking his head, like, shit.
Well,
You might be able to
Ivar,
bounce us out if they
you-
haven't, like, set up a perimeter.
You, me, Ivar, all pulled together. Portal is somewhere else.
Wait a second. Can Ivar use one of the devices he has that has taken us to other places, much like he used the ring, but to use it as like a guiding point to focus the portal? I'm wondering if I should make us appear in the crossroads. Because we have the path to the crossroads, which has magical entropy in it.
The only difficulty with something like that is you don't know how the Silk Road is accessible. The only person who seems to know how to open and move doorways within it is Violet, and she hasn't had a chance to like relay on how to do any of that yet. Or if it's even possible to do it from everywhere, or from only certain places, or what.
Douglas, do you have any radar, any surveillance? I can get us to about 250 feet outside of the manor, but if you know a safe area within that range, you can direct me, and perhaps we can do a hoppity hop.
You're going to have to take everything, including the vehicle, along with you. Can you do that?
I will need help from Colt, and if you can offer any assistance, sure, why not?
Where are the rest of the
He,
people
like-
who were in the house?
And it's just so like, are you asking that in character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna teleport away and leave, 100 civilians on the rooftop with the technocracy?
Well, they're not just there. They're like trying to manipulate or maneuver out, trying to take vehicles and stuff. And he's just sort of like, they're already dying. The technocracy has not taken it lightly. They're shooting out all the other aircraft. And they have also been surrounding the grounds. Everywhere we go. Even at 250 feet, they've got it out there. And that's to us. And again, if they have a perimeter, we're fucked.
Why don't we move the technocracy? Why don't we use the portals to portal the technocracy into each other?
You're welcome to
And
try.
see-
Any idea is functional in my standards.
Colt, what do you think? If we were to teleport them so they end up crashing into each other, we'll see how strong they are. Portal just moves matter from one place to another.
They're resisting the magic. We need
It's
a
not
portal
magic,
out.
it's just a portal. Portals are not magic, they're just doorways.
Fine. Roll. Let's see what happens. He's just like,
Barrick is gonna take a.
Barrick
Couple
has to go
shots.
first.
Barrick's gonna take a couple of shots with the blunderbuster.
All right.
Try and line up. He can take 3 shots.
Are you just waiting for some of the actual black hats and mirror shades to get at close range?
No, he's gonna try and get a vehicle so that we can clear a path to get out.
Ah, so you're trying to find a secondary AV with military capability?
Well, I'm sorry. I thought the reason the Raptor couldn't get out is because the airspace above it was too crowded.
Correct. It hasn't lifted off or anything yet.
So I was trying to shoot out whatever is holding one of the other vehicles in the air. So if it's got rotors, like trying to shoot the rotor.
Yeah, but the
Or
blunderbuss
something like that.
is a shotgun, and that spread won't do much against any of those vehicles
Oh,
at
right.
that range.
It says rifle, but rifle is shotgun is considered a rifle.
Yep.
Well, then basically I will. at
There might
the
be some
range
other
I've
weapons
got-
on board the Raptor, though, because you know that this thing is was being prepped and readied before you even got up to the roof.
Yeah, I can get to the Raptor.
Yeah, it's not hard. You just have to run across the, like I said, run across that pad that's on the rooftop here that you guys are all standing on. You can start rummaging around in some of its armory, which is actually going to be towards the tail. Let's find out what's in there. Whoa! Hey. Hey, Jesus. Oh, you found something. You're
What did I found?
an old friend. Happens to be that dragon, the 4-barreled grenade launcher.
My dragon fire?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that heavy. What's my heavy? Ooh, 21. It's not bad. Oh, but I don't roll that. What I roll? I roll my rank. Okay. So, I got 4 shots with that. I'm gonna take as best the targets I can.
Yep.
Should I tactics first?
Yeah. Why not? Who doesn't like having a GM hint?
Hey, I didn't roll a 1.
Nice. You're going to want to try and hit them at some point where you can get as much collateral damage as possible. You're going to have to arc your shot, which means that if they hold in a specific formation, which they seem to be doing fairly well, they're very static in their patterning, and they're actually starting to lay waste to the grounds on the outside. So it leaves them to be somewhat confident, and they won't be expecting a soft launch weapon like this. So if you arc, account for wind, you should be able to do some serious damage before they can start outmaneuvering.
Alright, so Barracks, while they are talking magic talk, sprints over to the Raptor, throws open the back, and is like, handgun, 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 handgun. Like, this is useless. And then, like, alright. Second time is a charm. And he's going to spin around and size up a target. He gets 4 shots. So, because the rate of fire is 1 or 4.
Yep.
So he is going to do 4 shots. 1d10 plus. Okay, so it's martial arts plus rank and weapon.
Yep.
Or does that even count for a heavy? Because I'm not like.
What's your rank in heavy anyway?
My rank in heavy is 3.
Right.
My
And then
total is 21.
Right. So
But-
you could either roll. You could roll on the actual heavy itself, or you can roll on your gun kata, which should take like the martial art rank plus the rank of the
Yeah,
actual.
it's higher,
Yeah.
but I just want to be.
Yeah. You're still using
Reasonable.
gun kata. Like the premise behind gun kata is that all guns follow the same symmetry. You know,
All right.
somehow or another.
So, am I doing 4 rolls, 1 for each shot?
Yep. Boom,
Okay.
boom, boom, boom.
1,
Nice.
2,
And double nice.
3, 4.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna luck to bump that.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Okay, and then I've got 2 exploders. Oh, what? I didn't even know what I typed there.
Well,
I've
apparently 2d10.
Ivar looks over as you're about to
Oh,
fire.
they
and
got another exploding. Okay.
Wow.
Ivar's like, would you like me to make those bigger?
Okay, so I have a. Let me see. 35. A 60. No, 50. 40. And 33.
Well, needless to
So
say,
one
you
of
hit
them
your
was
targets.
double crit. Yeah,
Yeah.
one was a double crit.
All right, so we've got Ivar and Colt getting into a like argument over portals and magic and how they're going to be able to work it back and forth and that kind of stuff. Douglas is just watching as you go back to the back end of it. And he's sort of like, of course, like yes, like he goes around. At this point, you come around the corner, you slap the thing shut, take up aim while they're still chatting, and you're like, pew, 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 like that. Just starts taking these shots. You guys hear the dull bumps from this weapon. There's a 1.5 tops delay from when those shots go into the air. Oh my god. There's about 1.5 seconds before those shots go off into the air. You see the first explosion, a concussive thwap goes out through the air. It sends the tail end of it spiraling into another section of what looks to be the other vehicle. There are multiple explosions within the same wing of assaulting AVs. And you see 2 of them come barreling into a spiral coming down from sheer impact of the explosive and concussive force of those grenades going off. The one actually shakily starts trying to land. The one that was just barely skimmed off and hit starts basically going lower altitude, but it seems like weapons are malfunctioning. There are still a number of them in place, but their formation is basically pushed down into a much more difficult situation. Damn. Damn. Those were some crazy ass fracking shots.
Well, good thing I used the ones up early. Are you 2 coming?
Yeah.
We literally stop our conversation and turn and go, huh, guns. I didn't think of that, Colt. Why didn't we think of guns?
And then Colt's just walking away surly. Fucking guns.
And at this moment, you just see Ivar reach in, and he comes out with a bowl of ice cream from the kitchen.
You can see Alex is like pouring out from underneath, inside of the rooftop. At this point, he's got like a bunch of gear on him, and he's just sort of like, "I'm coming, hold on," like that. I got you. And
With like 20 bags.
well, he comes rushing in. So mind you, he's like 6'2", like blonde and like shaved down to like crew cut, the whole 9 yards. So he's running out with a suit and a bunch of shit. He throws that crap into the Raptor. You guys are just watching, like, there's mass explosions on the outside. He's just sort of like, we're going to have to get airborne if we're going to help any of our people get out now. So why don't we load up, fellas? Let's go.
Yeah,
Hold on.
tossing stuff in.
Ivar, for his turn, would like to expand the illusion that he had on our group to, like, make people think we're somewhere else and try and put it on the Raptor itself. So that we could look like we're going a different direction. A little fog of war, as it were.
You see Douglas is standing there on that rooftop, and he's just kind of looking at everything else like that. More gunfire coming down, more explosions. A lot of the actual hit marks that are on grounds are trying to penetrate through, and you can actually see some shuddering happen with the mystic wards that are pushing through on the manor house. Hold on, guys, one sec.
No problem. When you do that, my wife got an ice cream maker. It's so good.
Mm.
Like one that attaches to a mixer?
Yeah.
Oh, I love ours.
Mm-hmm.
The
And then
the weird thing is, like, so my kids love mint chip.
Mhm.
Like, I had to explain to them that mint ice cream isn't always green. And they were like, what do you mean? I go, well, they dye it green. Like, it doesn't come green. You make this base, and you add mint flavoring to it. They said, so could we make it any color we want? And so we made it purple. That hurts your brain. Like, looking at purple ice cream and it not tasting like blueberry or raspberry or something, but it tasting like mint chocolate chip. Like, I have like cognitive dissonance there. And they're like, what else can we do?
How about I send you the recipes to my dad's ice cream store? And go have fun.
Ice cream. Definitely a personal vice of mine. Anyway, I got read in what I needed to read in. So, Alex is loading you up. You've got Douglas kind of like standing there on top of this roof, and there's like, you know, a pressure in the air. There is something happening. You're not sure exactly what it is, but there's definitely something sort of pseudo-magical occurring. When you're looking at this, you've got Douglas kind of looking up, then he looks back at the rest of you. He's got this funny grin on his face. He's like, well, Alex, get them out of here. It's about time that I actually put my money where my mouth is. He's just
You're
like,
not coming with us?
and he's like, you're going to have a lot of trouble getting out of here, even if you've broken a hole that are already beginning to reform. Besides, I need to give them a target, and I've been meaning to flip them the fuck off for a while now. It's my turn. You've done enough work. You should go have vacation.
Wait, you
Okay.
mean we don't have to deal with this bullshit?
He's like, deal with whatever you want, Colt. It's been fun. He's like, you've got Alex screaming from the inside, just like, let's go! This thing is warmed up. We gotta get out of here.
Hey, Dougie. Fuck you. And then
He's
he just
like-
walks into the ape. The raptor.
Yeah, you're walking in, he's like, eat cock, asshole! Like, that just goes stretching, getting ready. When you feel the raptor start to take off, you're muted, Scott.
Ferrick's gonna salute him.
He turns back, he just does that right back at you.
All you see was Ivar like waddling a little slower than normal, and a bottle rolls out from his robes, and he kind of like grabs it, and a few more bottles roll out, and he's like, "Thank you."
He just laughs. Like you're...
I did not piss on your geranium.
All right. So at this point, you have... He's just walking across the straight part of his manor house. He touches down on the manor. Oh God, no kidding. He touches his hand down on the manor. You guys are starting to VTOL out of there. The door slides shut, and you guys can get a perception of what's going on the outside. He's just sitting like this. He looks up like that, kind of checking to make sure you guys are off and away. Brings his hand up, brings a fist back down. You can see it go into the actual side asphalt and the rest of it. And when he pulls it free, there is this kind of ripple along the house. The manor begins to kind of wobble and fluctuate entirely. there is a really large number of hit marks that seem to have landed outside on the grounds and are starting to push that way. They're even firing up at this vehicle as it's moving up. When you see that ripple going across, there's a sudden break, and the house starts to pull inward. You can see it collapsing, and the rest of it looks like Douglas is caught on the inside of it for a moment. Whenever he's completely out of view and there's this huge plume, there are, inside of that cloud of smoke and dust, there is more fire coming from the Technocratic Order. While that's happening, you also have like the lights that are kind of firing through, causing it to light up almost like lightning inside of a cloud, but you can't really see one way or the other. Yet there is this massive arm that comes out of that same cloud of dust and smashes. Even though you are not touching down, there is this huge reverberation in the air. I've got to roll for Alex's pilot. Crap. Alright. Yep.
I can help if I need to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could actually sit up in second cockpit if you want, or a second pilot.
Yeah.
I just see Barrick walks in. I got this.
Let me roll pilot. If worst case, I'm backseat driver, right? Oh, there we go. I'm backseat driver. I'm like, oh, let me get the radio. Let me.
Well, you're basically just watching the spectacle, and you've got Alex just kind of moving around, just sort of like, holy shit. Then starts to push forward as you feel the thrusters kick in, and those magnetic drives just start pushing it forward. As you guys start moving out that way, there is this feeling of passing through something, and you guys go arcing up like this. It's not really a steep ascent, but what you're catching on like vid screens and the rest of it is that there is a massive level of fire happening around there. So the formation has changed to a full surrounding point. They start unloading heavier ordnance into that smoke and into the destruction that's going on. You really can't tell what's happening, but you can catch like a limb from time to time. But the sheer number of explosions from the remaining 8 or 10 other AVs that are armed to the teeth are just launching volleys directly at this target. And it's unrelenting. The outside of that manor house, there are vehicles that are leaving at a lower altitude and kind of pushing out and away. So it seems that some of the people that were actually a part of his household were able to escape to some degree. The last sight that anybody really catches of it is right before you're hitting up altitude and getting out of there. Is I don't know, like a larger hand, looks like a hand anyway, before it swats the top part of one of the actual AVs, causing it to plummet into all of that dust and smoke. But that's
Is it one of our AVs or one of their AVs?
One of theirs. One of the technocracies goes down from being slapped out of the air. You got Alex just kind of sitting back there, like, you know, like the whole thing is kind of rumbling like this because you guys are starting to push acceleration, and everybody's starting to feel that in the back end of it. You know, most people haven't even had a chance to buckle in, so they're just kind of like braced against like the impending G-force, and you kind of keep pushing, and you're out. And you can see Alex just kind of tips a couple of things. You hear a whir on the inside, and there's a good chance that some kind of like either optic camouflage similar to what was deployed on his other vehicles is now engaged. You know, but more or less, you guys are stealthing the hell out. And you go into high altitude and start just pushing until finally the G-forces let off. And you've got Alex just kind of like, oh shit.
Oh, I forgot something. Can we go back?
He like turns around in the cockpit, staring through the door. He's like, bro, what is wrong with you? You guys kind of hover in flight like that for a minute. And then maybe probably 6 minutes or so before Firestorm finally cuts in and goes, hey guys, can you hear me yet? Hello?
Yeah, we got you. We can hear you.
Oh shit. I've got no comms or anything else like that. Whatever's going on has got the entire local news in a tizzy. There is something massive happening. What the fuck just went on?
We're moving to Douglas's beach house.
What?
I think he has a beach house. I think that's our new base. I think we've lost the manor.
You've lost the manor? Like, what?
Yeah, it's not right there anymore.
Douglas activated his defense protocols. We evacuated.
And that's why we're going to
are you
the beach
local?
house.
Firestorm, are you local to us? Where are you?
That's kind of a sort of existential question, but if you're asking if I can follow you along depending where you go, yeah. I'm sort of everywhere and nowhere. I'm just on comms.
Well, what I meant was Alfred was able to get herself out.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering what your status was. But
Yeah,
you're
no,
here, so
Yeah, no, I wasn't locally based inside of the manor. In fact, I'm kind of inhabiting space somewhere in the link in a sense, but broadly speaking, it's hard to explain.
Firestorm, is there anything else hacked into our comms right now? Or are we clear?
No, nothing's hacked into your comms, but that jamming signal was something else. Who or what hit you?
the technocracy.
We have some old friends that we knew before we knew you. It's like an old date, like an ex.
No.
She came and found us.
Firestorm, you remember when we found you?
Yeah.
Do you remember that big bad guy we fought on Phobos?
I mean, like, who could forget?
It's his people.
Wait. Why? What? Why now?
Why not?
I mean,
they really don't like us.
We're lovable.
And we're weak.
Hey,
they just don't like us.
Speculation aside, hey Alex, did Dougie have an idea of where you're going to be going?
I have bolt hole locations, but I've got a bit of concern about that. And Firestorm chimes in, it's like, well, you might have a concern about it for a legitimate reason. Based on everything I can find here, your identities have been pushed out to the highest levels as most wanted. Not to mention the fact that any and all of Douglas's assets have been frozen from the back end over. This was a coup from the inside out from the start. For whatever reason, everything that you guys had is now gone. So you might be sleeping in a raptor for a while.
So much for being sinless, huh?
Well, the problem is that whatever technology they used is complicated. And I would actually kind of put it in there as being somehow or another illogical. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's like, hold on.
That's how the technocracy operates. The intersection of magic and technology.
It sounds like the technocracy's powers that went to Copperfield were not Copperfield's alone.
Well, no, I mean, if you're talking about a technocratic order, they were global. They went around the world.
Yeah.
And apparently found you guys somehow. He screwed up somewhere. I don't know where, but something happened. Something fucked it all up. And the casualty report is probably not going to be good either. Alex is like, yeah, but we're going to need a place to be. We've got some allies out there.
Firestorm, is there any way you can get into the system and lower our wanted levels to get us less wanted?
I could, but it's going to take some time. There's a lot,
Understood.
And it's self-replicating.
Well,
it's like venereal disease.
We can always reach out to
Gross,
Visile.
But yeah. What was that, Bill?
We can always reach out to Visile.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could. There's also Dark Sun, maybe Mr. Gray. You've got a lot of people.
Maybe a hideout with the Dark Knight?
I don't actually have any location for him yet. Something else.
What about the Chrome Berets? We haven't seen them in a while.
That's Dark Sun.
That's Dark Sun? Natasha? That's not... No. She's still pretty upset.
Well, I mean, the question is who do you want to commit into an open warfare with the technocracy right now?
Yeah, that's basically the question I'm asking. Who knows which ally is going to want to do that?
Perhaps we make our way to the crossroads. It's a neutral area. Even the
Yeah,
technocracy's not so brazen to go in there, are they?
I don't think that they care about anywhere they go. I assume that they probably think everything belongs to them. Given what I've been able to pick up from Hunter.net especially, hunting down those with certain arcane abilities is not just the only thing that they enjoy doing. They have other things going on. As you guys have clearly found out, they have resources, a lot of them, and they're willing to use them. The question is who do you want? Because I'll put a call into anybody. You just need to tell me who. But I figure that doing mass broadcast, he kind of stops for a minute. It's like, or maybe we should do a mass broadcast. They wouldn't know which one we were trying to pick out. Who do we want to go to? I can smoke screen us.
Why don't we call Copperfield?
No. Where's Riv?
She's still currently in a hospital out of the way. I don't think that they actually were expecting to have anyone separated.
Honestly,
lucky
my
her.
vote's facile. So, it's just me.
We need to get Riv. Because if they found us, it won't be long before they discover where she is.
Or perhaps you should probably find yourselves an ally first and then worry about Riv? Just saying.
I still think we should call Copperfield. It's time to negotiate.
He doesn't want to negotiate. He wants to kill us. We have sufficiently pissed him off.
Yes, but we hold the key to his jail.
Barrick, what about you? What do you say?
I mean, facile works for me.
Yeah. From the back end, you've got Davis kind of sitting up. He's like, I'm good with whatever. Vasal sounds fine. Like, he just kind of picks himself up from where he's at.
At the least, we've worked together successfully before.
All right.
And he's in contact with Gray and all the others.
Right.
Well, then, I guess.
And this,
Well, I mean, we have our bigger mission. We have to get
This
the
is
outsiders
city.
taken care of.
I think your bigger mission just kind of slapped you in the face. But that's just me.
yeah, it unzipped and dropped right on our front door.
Speaking of that, let's hope that your ally Vasile doesn't think you're shitting on his doorstep whenever you bring all this trouble. Either way, I'm sending out a large broadcast. We're going to start pinpointing a whole bunch of people, even probably some of your enemies.
Yeah, I think it would be worth to ping those. We wouldn't mind getting some unnecessary attention from the technocracy as well.
I have to agree. Smokescreen going up. If you take this thing, it won't be long. You're only a few hundred kilometers away from where Vasile's manor is anyway. So, safe trip, fellas. I'll get busy. His feed cuts out.
I've heard those looks over.
Alfred, are you there at all?
Who?
Alfred?
Oh my freaking god. Alfred's in the backup core. She must have been packed into one of whatever the materials that have been set up in here. She's not active at the
Okay.
moment.
Good. But in the back of the vehicle?
Yeah, somewhere back there. Her core's got to be
You know, if-
relevant.
Figure we like hit up a Best Buy, we can set up our own little mini warehouse.
All right. Well, it doesn't take terribly long with this vehicle in particular. You're about 5 to 6 minutes out. You know, Alex is keeping this thing steady. He gets this comment like, "We got incoming transmission, unknown." He like puts it up, audio only. So it comes in. It's just like, "Hello." We
Hi,
received.
Hi, how are ya? How you
like-
doing today?
Vasile's voice is coming through. He's like, "Things have gotten quite bad. I can tell."
Little bit. Hey, we were wondering, could we have a place to stay?
He kind of like goes silent for a second. Do find yourselves a place to land. From what I understand, you're inside of a larger air vehicle. There are several areas outside in the back of my home. You can touch down. Once you're here, we will escort you in.
Thank you.
It's just like, Vasile out.
See,
Alex is like, "Ugh."
easy. We make a deal with the the vampire lord of all Night City, but that's okay.
The reason I decided to go with you on this Vasile choice is because I figure he's got a stake in the city. No pun intended.
Maybe the joke we don't tell.
Dreyfus is coming up. It's like, so, out of curiosity, you guys are wanted, but somehow so am I. I only just got here, and I know I wasn't born in the territory, but apparently they're going to make something up, aren't they?
I mean, I don't even know what your last name is, so
I don't really have one.
yeah, I don't know how you.
That's a big crime here. Everybody
My-
has a last name.
My identity
Even
was
Ivar.
wiped by the federal government, so I'm very curious what they've got on me.
They must have gotten some sort of secondary footage or something like that and made up an identity. It probably doesn't matter.
I mean,
Whatever.
it doesn't
Look,
help if
I'm
go
gonna
around
tell you.
introducing myself to everybody.
Everybody wants Ivar.
Yeah. there's
Ivar,
that.
don't pee here. Ivar, don't pee there. Ivar, you peed on a pretty lady. Don't do that. No,
We just need to duck into a garage and get a haircut and a paint job on the Raptor and then watch the stars go down.
Yeah,
No,
this
all
it-
right.
it doesn't work that way.
this sleek military vehicle ends up getting you guys there pretty quick, and it VTOLs down into a nice stable landing. Alex is like, he's got a graveyard in the back here? Dude. Like, he's just kind of looking up over the control panels and the rest of it. You can hear the engines powering down. There's
Oh, Alex, don't go wandering out of the Raptor. That building is actually a gigantic demon that we're about to walk into. It's inhabited by vampires. I'm pretty sure they've got some things in the grounds that would want to eat you. And yeah, I think that's the basics. Be nice.
What are you fucking talking about? Evil Hogwarts?
Wait a second.
Terry, because
How
that's
are we
not
going to
a
tell Riv
church.
that we lost the manor? It's going to be really hard for her.
I don't think Riv cares.
He's just kind of
I
like,
still think
I-
we should call Copperfield.
yeah, I'm
Negotiate,
against that idea
parlay.
from the get-go.
You guys don't like to live. And Ivar just kind of shuffles out and makes his way towards the house, and you hear the clinging of bottles.
Yeah.
Yep. On the
So-
contrary,
Occasionally in-
very much living.
You've landed out in a larger area of the manor gardens, which has
Hmm.
this concealed pad on it, which is not unlike to have somebody who's ridiculously wealthy do these kinds of things. Across the way, where you guys, where Alex was looking, you can see that there is a graveyard. Now, there's rocky bluffs. You guys are actually in the New Jersey area, which is part of the Daedalus belt. But you guys are against the rocky bluffs that are really high up, and you can see the ocean out eastward. And the graveyard expands over the top, and it's proper, it's old, and there's definitely kind of like a creepy vibe that comes from it. The procession that meets you all as you guys are landing is Vasile himself, along with multiple servants. You've got Alex, who's trying to help some things out. Manfred is moving things along and getting some of the other servants to assist, making sure that nobody has. He's treating everything like you guys are coming over for, a short-term stay, or just as guests, like nothing is out of the ordinary whatsoever. But being the kind of demonic entity and butler that he is, it's not a surprise. Vasile greets everyone as you come out. Alex is kind of like looking around, kind of catches sight of Vasile and is like just kind of does that stiffening up. And he's like, welcome.
We're sorry to bring trouble to your door, but it's our talent.
And he just nods his
Thank
head.
you
He's
for
like,
your hospitality.
I brought trouble to my own door, gentlemen. So, shall we get you situated? I apologize if some of these accommodations won't necessarily be ready just yet. We have to make some amendments to the home. But we'll have dinner ready for you, of course. And I believe that you were stealthed on the way here, but there's also a chance that you could have been followed or that other means could have been used to track you down. We're prepared for that. I've fended off many an assault so far. Only thing, please remain out of the graveyard past that point. There's a somewhat disgruntled entity that doesn't like to have very many visitors. Beyond that, the rest of the home is open to you. Just keep in mind, certain things here are not exactly what they seem most of the time. And you can actually see, next to where Ivar is standing, there's this, like the maiden who's got the super attractive face, the red lipstick. She still has the leather handle wrapped duster in hand. She's wearing the French maid outfit. Still makes it a common reaction to bend over as much as possible, especially in front of Ivar whenever grabbing items from out of the back of the raptor. And Alex is just kind of staring at her and trying to focus, and you can see Visal just kind of look at him and give a small smile. He's just sort of be careful with the toys you play with. As
Colt
such,
just kind of leans down to Alex and says, I told you.
He's okay, I don't know if any of you have seen this. It's from a show that's a long time ago, but it's like Adam's Family meets Downton Abbey. It's really fucking weird.
Ivar reaches into his robes and pulls out a bottle of booze. Here, this might keep you warm.
I'll fucking take it. This has been a bad day.
Random vampire comes out of the building going, Suke!
Suki man.
So you guys start to file into the manor home, starting to take yourselves in, and he will be, of course, hospitable. He'll get you fed and show you to your rooms, and then it will be He also mentions the fact that because Riv was not with you, you will mention that to him. He'll have his own men, specifically a specific agent of his, go and retrieve her to make certain that things go smoothly and that she's pulled back and not followed. And that is where we'll probably stop it, because we're at 2 minutes before the top of the hour here.
You've been waiting to do that one for a while, haven't you?
Close to a year now, yeah.
These guys in their cushy mansion.
Well, more to the point,
Put them on the run.
I have total valid reasons for bringing the technocracy down, because there's only so many waves that y'all could make with everything that you'd been doing before somebody started following all the movements and zeroing it in.
It's so funny that the RPG creation Discord was talking about hey, how do you guys handle heat and attracting unwanted attention to your group and all that stuff, and I was thinking, oh, we've probably stirred up a lot of dust that eventually it's gonna come back. Little did I know 6 hours later I'd be eating those words.
Yep.
Remember, this week's chapter was old enough to fight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This is the part in any story where the hero, who had it pretty cush, has now been sent out into the real world.
Well, and the funny thing is that, Douglas showing a rare form of self-sacrifice in that sense. He always kind of seemed like a pretentious ass to some degree.
So, do we know, is Douglas dead, or is he just
Nope.
It
defending
happened
his
off
case?
camera. Can't prove anything.
Yeah, you don't know if he's dead or not, but there's a good chance that with the amount of bombardment, and clearly the technocracy has improved a lot of their technology, because the resistance to magic that was sensed here at this point is highly disturbing.
I feel like we need to go visit our fembot again.
Good to know they're not resistant to bullets.
Well, I mean, there are solutions to that, and those are totally within the boundaries of normal reality, therefore non-vulgar, therefore less of a concern.
I do love that you just watched us pull out an amazing feat of magic that utterly fails, and what does Scott do? He walks into the back of the car, pulls out a gun, and just starts shooting.
I mean, it was a big gun with 4 grenades.
Oh,
I
come on.
think that in
Colt
a
just
sense,
going like, boom.
Double explode.
I think the best part about that whole thing is just going like it shows that solutions could work either way. It doesn't always have to be solved in that particular manner with magic. Like I just like the plus Barrick has had a lot of his own like heroic moments, but this is definitely one of the crowning ones. Just like he's just like that just goes shunk like
Boom, 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 boom.
But and again, I go back to this. The weeks that we write up, there's so many of them that just make great stories. Like, of just writing this out. Like, I can just see a whole chapter where they've come back after this big fight. Everything's just shit. And all of a sudden, shit goes bad. They're trying to evacuate. They're trying to save things. And the two magic users are in this, like, comedic bickering on how to do spells properly. And then they fail. And here's Barrick, who just, like, old-fashioned dirt and grit police work.
Well, at this
Beat the
point,
shit out of them.
this group has been through so much that it's almost like a casual indifference to danger. It's the, again?
Well, and if Riv was there, right, who knows? She would have been like, oh, my gauntlet's
Impulsive.
still activated, and I'm gonna, like, turn into a
right.
teleporting whirlwind.
Yeah.
And,
The route of the manor may have been completely flipped on its side because she did something nuts.
yeah.
Who
Oh,
knows?
I reversed gravity. Oops.
I see this as Riv one day.
Super Saiyan level 4.
No, that's the Super Saiyan God.
Oh, this is the new one.
Yeah. Which isn't terrible. It's like all nostalgia.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah.
Well, that was a fun. I really enjoyed Ivar and the cult. Just that whole scene. I agree with you. That was probably my favorite scene to date. Just the whole Ivar and Cole going, no, you're supposed to do it this way. Look, I wouldn't fail if you wouldn't distract me. No, but you're not doing it right. Barrick. Funk.
It's very...
And
yeah,
poor
it's,
Alex going.
Again, very cinematic.
Yeah, it definitely definitely panned out better. I never know what is gonna go down on any of these things. Like I propose these things out, and I'm like, okay, what sort of crazy ass momentum are they gonna start pushing? And it never quite fits what I imagine could happen. It's like, okay, I mean, the outcome was that, but they sure as shit lost a lot more troops than they were expecting on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never. I mean, this is one of the first times I've seen the technocracy go full out.
So,
it's
question
kind of
here.
It's kind of a benchmark. I'll get right to. It's kind of a benchmark for the game when the technocracy tries to start bitch slapping you into like obedience or death. That's kind of when you've escalated to the okay, this shit's real level, because they don't react like that unless you get to that point.
Question here for just logistics and the story time. Would it be safe to say that right now we have the technocracy? I have them at a -4 for our enemies. Is it safe to say that we bounced up a level in pissing them off?
Well, you might be able to say that, but this is as a result of your current enemies, so their reaction isn't necessarily, but you could pump it up by 1 just because of the wanted effect. There's not much that you're going to be able to glean from that. You're not, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm doing it for general just note taking.
Yeah. It's definitely gone up because now the whole of Night City is going to be on the lookout for these deviants, whoever they are.
Okay, so I'm watching the movie Red Notice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Campy.
it
Kinda
has
fun.
all of the elements of a good movie, and my wife was like, "Do you like it?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's like I don't not like it, but I'm watching it while I like treadmill, and so it's like I watch a half hour of it at a time, and I'm like, this is just like good comfort food. Like, it's, I'm not gonna think about this movie 6 months from now,
Right.
but
in the moment,
It made you feel
But-
good.
yeah, it's just good. Like the Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, like
Oh, Gal Gadot was hilarious though.
it's funny, but yeah, it's just like I'm like this is perfect for watching on the treadmill.
I have
But,
discovered that
Like they've got
Scott,
Red Notice out on us.
bring one of these out for the treadmill. You'll go for hours.
What? No, I can't.
Truth.
I don't. I'm not gonna walk on the treadmill while I play.
Why? I do it. Come on, Scott.
Because my coordination is still fucked from July, and if I'm not staring straight ahead, I'm gonna like bump into the wall.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fair.
I remember having that problem after the pool incident for me.
All right. Well, on that note, Image, thank you, Scott. Have a good night, guys. Great game.
Great
Take
game, guys.
care.
Talk to you later.
See you later, buddy.